Welcome back guys to another video where today we're going to be talking about this winter storm that's soon to impact us within the next 24 hours. For areas in western Wisconsin or western Minnesota, it's already impacting those areas, and yeah, it's not looking too good. So remember when I said trends keep trending? Well, it has significantly trended to the south, where now areas like Rochester and Mankato could see snowfall totals in excess of 2 to 3 inches, maybe even 4 inches. These guys were only supposed to get an inch or two, maybe even a trace. Um, Yesterday, but now those trends have kept trending, and the more significant swath of oldest snowfall is now has shifted, yeah, definitely south to the point where the Twin Cities may see 2 to 5 inches. But that's not all. There's also the risk for blowing snow, which is going to be quite concerning. The UP of Michigan is always an interesting place to be when you're this early, not this early in the winter, but when it's been such a dry winter. I mean, the Lake Superior is still technically warm, which will result in some lake effect snow areas up to almost 30 inches in Marquette and Hookton here, but yeah, getting a little sick now. But yeah, areas just St. Cloud 3 to 7 inches. Duluth could see upwards to a foot of snow. It's not looking too good. So if we look here, this is quite like I woke up to this and I wasn't shocked because last night I texted my friend, I think all the models have shifted south. And I wake up to this and I'm like, oh my goodness. So if we zoom out here, we have winter storm warnings almost from northern Minnesota to southern Minnesota, just missing those, I think 8 counties down there. But this is quite huge, as most of these areas may not see 6 inches, but there's a factor here where this is the main thing. So this is wind speed, and you can see 40 miles per hour tomorrow morning. Now, the snowfall is expected, or the rain is suspected to turn into snow around this general area around 3 to 9 p.m. for most of the region. And then you see here, it's around almost 45 miles per hour, 46 in Madison, Minnesota, I believe. And this is just crazy. Areas like the Twin Cities will see wind gusts around above 30 miles per hour until possibly 3 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. So that's quite concerning, and mixed in with not heavy snowfall. I mean, this isn't the heaviest snow event we've seen. I mean, it's definitely going to be a or a wake up to the winter season, but in comparison to some winter storms we've seen, this is not as much, but um, that wind is just going to be it's going to create almost blizzard conditions. I think some areas could be impassable tomorrow or today into tomorrow, especially as that snow starts to settle on the ground. Now, if we look at timing here, you can already see some snow showers up here in northern Minnesota, but let me just go forecast loop here. You see here that low pressure center is going to enter around noon, and then it's going to be heavy rain here over in the Twin Cities area, western Wisconsin. But by noon or by like 6 p.m. here, most of Minnesota will have snowfall from the Arrowhead to no, that's not the Grand Rapids area, the Soy Falls area. Um, and then the heaviest snow will most likely be around here where we're going to see that transition from rain to snow. So central Minnesota around 3, 4 p.m. here, you're going to see that transition, and it is going to be whiteout conditions most likely. Look at these ISO bars here, very close together, very concerning. Usually when those are close together, you see higher wind speeds, but this is just not looking too great. But by the time it's around Monday morning or Wednesday morning, most of that snow should be moved off to the west here. Most of it should be gone from Minnesota by Wednesday morning. Um, but that doesn't take into effect the amount of snow that's going to be on the ground. Blowing snow is definitely going to be a concern. As we're going to, I mean, the trends could keep trending. I mean, this could trend even more to the south, I wouldn't be too surprised. It was 12 hours. Um, like in a span of 12 hours, we saw this shift. Not even that, maybe 6 hours. So, I mean, this could definitely trend to the point where areas like the Twin Cities could, maybe they'll see 4 inches likely, but it's always hard to tell with these events, but definitely a south trend. And I don't think we're done yet. I think the models are definitely, they're going to be changing until the point we see this. And if we look at the HRR and see how much snow it's forecasting here, usually you want to use total snow depth change for this because it's such a weird event where all that snow is compacting. And you can see here areas up to 5 inches possible in the Twin Cities area. And this originally, if we look here, we'll go to 48 hours. Now we'll go back to midnight here. Now watch this line here. I think there's going to be a little bit of a shift here. Actually, yeah, it's kind of weird. So it actually shifted north a little bit, or that higher band, but then so this is more prominent here. So areas like western Wisconsin, like central western Wisconsin, areas around Eau Claire, New Richmond, not La Crosse, but all these areas are definitely have seen forecasted a lot more snow. This is what stood out yesterday. So this is what I saw and pointed out to one of my friends is that this right here was quite concerning where there's 6 inches possible here, but that's from last night. If we go back to this, you see here, that's still technically true, but most of Minnesota will see snow, except this area is quite ironic because this area was supposed to see upwards to maybe 3 inches at least. Now they're seeing not even a single flake of snow. So that's quite interesting there, but you're going to see areas up to 26 inches, 27 inches here in the UP of Michigan. So if you're in Duluth, Superior, old like the Arrowhead, yeah, you guys are still projected to see quite a bit of snow. But if you're down here, the basic band of it, the amount of snowfall or the amount of areas seeing snowfall significant more in this event is quite large. It has grown quite a bit. So that's the main thing that everyone should be a little worried about and definitely take precaution. There's actually um, this so if you are in Minnesota, I would definitely tune into these. If you do have to travel tonight into tomorrow morning, I would definitely look at these to get updates on road conditions. It's just 511 and then enter your state, and then they have traffic cameras. I can actually show you an example right now. We'll go to 511 Minnesota here. Oh, jeez. Should be. Yeah, you can see here. So this is traffic cameras. Hopefully there's some over here. Yeah. So this, and you can see already some snow falling. That is our first sight of snow. Much of this area you see. Now there it's starting to fall down. So um where were we earlier? I thought we saw snow. Yeah, you can see a little bit, but if we go more over near the border here, yeah, you can definitely see that snow start to fall. Um, So yeah, you can use that. So if you're in the Twin Cities area, of course, all these blues, and I mean there might be some. Yeah, it even has a legend right here. So travel not advised. I would not be surprised if most of this area right here was in this purple, but that will be soon to change as we go throughout the day. I might upload a new video later today to cover up these new changes, but main things to take away from this snow event is if you're anywhere in this band, I mean, it's going to be windy throughout Minnesota and western Wisconsin. So definitely be aware of that. Even if you're in Madison, you could see upwards of 2 inches. So that's quite crazy. So the area has grown north to south um, in regards to how much snow could be seen here. And just looking at it is just crazy. We were originally looking at potentially maybe a trace 3 days ago in the Twin Cities area. Now we're seeing upwards to 5 inches. If we look here at what they expect here. This is kind of what, the most likely, or kind of what the National Weather Service sees. So 4 inches in the Twin Cities, um, 5 inches Rice Lake, 5 inches St. Cloud. So just on that borderline of winter storm warning. But you're probably wondering, I thought you said that the winter storm criteria was 6 inches. Well, if you take into effect the wind speeds, I mean, this will be borderline blizzard conditions. Here, you got 40 miles per hour. I think the blizzard warning criteria is around 35 mile per hour sustained winds with falling snow or even, snow on the ground that can blow onto the road or soft snow. So this is definitely, that's one of the reasons why a winter storm warning was issued all the way from north to south, except those, I think, those counties down there, which is quite interesting. Um, but yeah, so just really, really crazy here. A huge uptrend in the models and the low end. So this is quite interesting here. The Twin Cities will definitely see an inch of snow. I mean, this is a bare minimum of what to expect. Duluth, 5 inches. They're probably going to see definitely more than that, but yeah, it's just quite interesting. So if you say the forecast are right, just look at this one and um, if you're around western Wisconsin, I mean, that's already 6 inches there. It's just crazy. So this will be the bare minimum of what we see. Not the bare maximum, the bare minimum. I don't want to click that one because that one's quite interesting. That's the worst case scenario for everything. This is one of the things that I'm quite interested in. So this kind of downplays the severity, I think, where the Twin Cities is mostly in moderate impacts. I think it's definitely going to be a little more dangerous because you're going to have blowing snow, possibly heavy snow. I mean, it really depends on what you classify heavy snow as. I usually say 4 to 6 inches, which, could be what we see here, but mostly minor impacts. I don't really agree with that because, I mean, most of this is blowing snow. Most of this is a factor of blowing snow. Snow amount is more upwards in here, but I mean, most of the area is kind of in that minor to moderate impact stage, but don't downplay this event. If you have to travel, be cautious. Make sure you have blankets in your car because this is not one to joke around. And with models keep trending, I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw further southern shift to models. So now let's take it. There was a snow event I was talking about yesterday that could potentially happen this week. Is it going to happen? Maybe. I haven't looked at the models just yet. If we go here, so we're of course going to see that snow event over here, those isobars really close. That's going to promote some wind for our area. And then this, so it looks like we were talking about this yesterday. This could be, I mean, we could definitely still see snow, but overall, um, the overall biggest impacts have definitely shifted south where that European model was forecasted. And yeah, definitely something to take note of. And then, of course, we're Tuesday, so that's 1 week out. And it looks like it's going to calm down a little bit. Yeah, definitely, definitely something to look out for Saturday. We'll talk more about that after this snow event is done. Definitely, I'll have some sort of weather update tomorrow talking about snowfall totals from the event and what to really expect from this possible system where, whatever happens in this system will ultimately determine what happens here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that winter update. Be safe. And I think we're definitely going to see quite a bit of a wake up call to the winter. And this is winter. This is just the start of it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed and have a good Thanksgiving and be safe.